The other thing I wanted to look up was Google Stadia,
Andy.
I guess,
no, bring on the misery.
I guess
Google Stadia.
Feel the yes.
Can you add that in, like, right at this part?
Palpatine?
Yeah, just at this part.
Do it. Dan?
Whenever we mention Stadia.
Dan, I have been waiting 31 years for someone to ask me to inject as much Palpatine as possible.
Please enter more Palpatine in,
oh my God.
in whenever we talk about Stadia. Or you could do the who's that quarterback? Whenever they mention that, like,
oh yeah. So that's kind of a no one's going to get that. But so there's this other podcast that I listen to about football. So it's not eating off of our listeners. It's called the Around the NFL podcast. If you like football, it's the best football podcast. If you're not in it for the fantasy and you're just in it for the pure football, they're very funny. And anytime they talked about Brock Osweiler, the former Broncos, Houston, Cleveland, and then Broncos quarterback again. Every time they would talk about him, there was this like whiny guy they would play like a soundbite and would go like, "No, I can't believe it." It was just really funny. But no, I will gladly fill this podcast with Palpatine.
Okay.
Anytime we talk about Stadia, but
preferably yes.
Yeah, I guess Stadia's been radio silent. I guess that's what people are saying on because I guess they didn't have as many games as they were going to originally, and then they really haven't added many more.
Can you imagine being one of the Founder Edition people and you would enjoy the hell out of this thing, and then
maybe I should be searching for this on Bing because Google's probably not giving me the full rundown on Google Stadia.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. Like, your search.
Let me search
like,
for this.
it's got beautiful, amazing. Yeah, that is kind of funny. I didn't even think of that.
It knows what I'm trying to do.
Even Google's like, you know what? If you want the real reviews, go to Bing.
They're adding Metro Exodus.
Do it.
Metro Exodus.
Even Google. This is from Forbes. Even Google Stadia diehards are getting fed up with missing features and silence. So yeah, it looks like they are being very radio silent. I mean, I don't know.
Shocking. Really?
I mean,
no offense, but anybody that bought it, I mean, you had to see the writing on the wall from the beginning.
And I mentioned this. I forget the podcast name now, but I did mention it on a previous episode a couple weeks ago. This guy on a different video game podcast did give like a very honest review of it, and he had some good things and some bad things, although he did make a point to say like, yeah, like I tried to play it on like the high performance and everything like that, and like you couldn't, like the bandwidth runs out way too quickly. It doesn't matter what kind of lines they're running down or anything like that. The ISPs just can't keep up with it.
No, and I mean this is this generation game. Can you imagine next gen? Where it's going to be even more detailed?
Yeah.
It's not going to work. I don't understand why people thought this was a good idea. It just, like I said, and then the internet thing. And I still can't figure out who their market was. Are you going for hardcore gamers? Because if you are, that's not a good market, because those people are going to want to play it like without any kind of latency issues, and frame rate issues, and that's what it's going to have.
A Google community manager responded to a thread and reassured users about moderation concerns, saying, quote, "Don't worry, I'll make sure this post doesn't get removed," end quote. The fact that this is Forbes talking now, the fact that a company community manager has that kind of power on what should be a fan-run forum kind of says a lot on its own. So, this must be a actual Google Stadia. The Google Stadia subreddit. That's what this is about.
What were they worried about being removed?
I think maybe Google's removing things from it or something like that.
Removing stuff from the subreddits?
I don't know. I read it out of order.
Okay.
But either way, Google Stadia.
I mean, none of us bought it for good reason.
I wouldn't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. It's.
Well, yeah, I never had any inkling to buy it.
It could be neat later, but just the way that PlayStation. I mean, not only that, if gaming was kind of crumbling a little bit, like PlayStation didn't nearly sell as well, and then Xbox did okay, not great, and Nintendo still was, we're still in the Wii U phase. Then maybe I could see, all right, maybe they can come up and be a competitor, but I mean, I don't know if they can hack it really, because I mean, Sony just has this huge, friggin' massive part of this video game thing, and then Nintendo
it's looking like next generation too.
and then and Nintendo has like they have the hardcore gamers, and they also have just the normal people that just want to. I mean, everywhere I went,
they're successful with what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I see Switches everywhere. Like the airport when I went to Mexico, I saw like every person had one, whether it was to 10 years old up until like 30, 40 years old. I
thought you meant a 10-year-old Switch. I'm like, what model did they have? Are you talking about the Game Boy?
Yeah, they have the Game Boy.
Speaking of failed systems or Doom systems, Matt, where's that Atari box you wanted to come out so badly?
Oh, I don't remember ever wanting the Atari box to come out.
Yeah, you were really excited for it.
None of this makes sense.
No, so Atari made a big announcement at one of the game things about how they were coming up with a new system, and you got really excited because you're like, oh, this is great. Someone's going to throw a wrench into the works. I like this.
Wait, a new system?
How you're lying to me.
Like a new system?
Oh,
wait.
No. Hang on. One dumpster fire at a time.
Okay, hang on.
This happened.
Hey.
I was never excited about the Atari box.
Yeah, you were. You were excited because, like, they're re-entering the game force. Like, they're throwing a monkey wrench into the system. You weren't excited to, like, buy it. You were just excited because, like, they were going to, like, come in and, like, try to, like, muck up the works.
He's trying to put words in your mouth.
No, this happened. This fucking happened.
I don't think it happened because I can't imagine ever thinking that this was going to be, like, an actual system that sold
So they did this really weird ad at one of the E3s where it was just, like, the logo, and they kind of took a look at the think about like what an Atari 2600 looked like. It looked like a sleek version of that. By the way, I do know where it went too, because I've been keeping track of it ever since. It went nowhere. Yes. It keeps like it's basically it's kind of like a Steam box basically, and they were showing games running on it, but then the guy who owned the game was like, I never authorized them to run my game on that system or something. But I think the YouTube channel kind of went dead, so I think they probably just died out. But Matt was excited when it was announced because he was excited that like maybe like Atari was getting back into systems and they were gonna like kind of like invade the market. It was like the E3 right after I moved in, so it had to have been almost 3 years ago now.
Okay.
It was a while ago. I'm just saying it did happen. That's not a lie.
I'm saying it didn't.
That's a lie.
Okay.
That's a lie that you're saying right now.
I could have been being sarcastic.
No, again, you didn't say that you were gonna buy it. You were just it was like you were like happy. You're like, yeah, this is like cool. This is exciting that like, someone else is like randomly getting back into the market. This happened, Matt. This 100% happened.
You're just telling anyone listening that I don't know anything about video games and that I'm the biggest idiot you've ever met. That's the same thing that sentence says.
Why?
Because you would have to be the biggest idiot I've ever met to think that the Atari box was going to like
I don't know if it was called the Atari box. I don't remember what it was called, but
all right.
You can enter the Palpatine thing here too. Yes, your anger and your forgetfulness of whoever is forgetting.
Whatever, dude.
I don't know who to believe. Matt seems pretty confident.
I swear to God, this happened.
You keep saying monkey wrench, which is making me think that monkey wrench was said.
I can very much see myself being sarcastic about that.
You were not sarcastic, but you also never mentioned it again after that one day.
Were you dreaming? Was this a dream?
This was the trailer that happened at E3 that year.
Yeah.
Are you really gonna play that right now?
Yeah.
No, nobody can hear this, but he's. Why are you putting that up to the thing?
This was the trailer for it. This is all we saw, and you were like.
So literally, it was just
like a brief look at the system.
Picture of the Atari symbol.
No, you could. There was.
Yeah.
No, there was.
Did they actually show the system?
Yeah, a little bit.
It just looks like the top of the. Oh, it's got a little bit of wood on it.
Yeah, it's got like the fake wood on and everything. Anyways, it went nowhere. But
so what was it? Like a
it was
actual
gonna be
PC?
They never
or
really,
old games?
They never really said.
Oh,
the YouTube channel barely has any videos on it. It looks like they kept saying they were using PC technology.